winter, we finished this greenhouse, at least in its outside structure. We got the actual cover on at the beginning of January, and on January 26th, I planted spinach, carrots, and radishes in our little wicking bed that we have down here. We did not have any heat in here at the time, so a lot of times it would be, 70, 80 degrees during the day, but 3 at night. Fortunately, we just covered things up and it worked out, and we were really impressed that by March 22nd, we were able to have the first radishes of the season for Henry to eat. So this year we were determined to do this again and make it a little bit better. All I do with the wicking bed is I cover it with a piece of plastic at night. And that tends to keep the heat in, and it keeps any frost literally from falling down on it because it tends to be a little damp in here. This year we did the same thing with the wicking bed, but we also decided to plant 2 trays that I would normally use for starting flowers and vegetables for the garden. These were actually planted on December 9th. All 3 of these containers were planted on December 9th. And the big excitement this morning was that on January 10th, we now have some carrots that just came up this morning when I looked, because they weren't there yesterday. So we have some new carrots in the wicking bed, which is a big deal. They take longer to sprout, and they're a little less cold hardy than the spinaches and the radishes. Also, the radishes are going to be harvested really soon. This group here was the first batch that came up, and I would say we'll probably start pulling a couple of those at least this weekend. I may actually replant a few things because the spinach is being a little slow. We made a mistake the other day and managed to have 2 heaters, not 1 but 2, fail at night, and that was enough to do some damage. So you'll see on the spinach, you'll see some pieces that some of the early leaves were kind of bitten by the frost. I am still having a few pieces of spinach come up in here, but I'll probably replant this. This never came up, but I'll probably replant some of these radishes in here because, wow, these are doing really well. So, planted December 9th. We have had the coldest winter around here for the time of year that I think we've had in years and years, probably 5 or 6. It's regularly been down single digits and teens, low teens. So we decided that if we were going to do this, now this thing underneath here, this funny looking thing here is actually a heat mat. It's normally used to start seedlings in the spring or anytime. And what I did was at night, I covered this one with this thing just like this. And I covered this one with the little matching tray top like that. And that plus the heat mat underneath is enough to keep these from freezing to death. So we were really happy to see that we actually have some new carrots up this morning, and that these will be ready to harvest probably at least 2 or 3 of them this weekend.